Okay guys, this is Downer. I wanted to do a good video of a little bit of an idea I had for Etho. I'm going to post this as a video reply, but almost anybody can take this for their own use in a mob grinder. And I set up this is a mock setup. I wanted this to be very visible for my demonstration. And this is basically Etho back in one of his earlier episodes set up an item Derez timer. So I wanted to build this and make it a lot more simpler, which this is a very simple. Nothing underground. This is all very up on top and viewable. I set this up with a little. This will chime. These note blocks will chime when the items derez, and there's even a little note block I put here for no reason other than to let me know that there's items there. Now what happens here is in this case, a few items will plop down. And as soon as that does, it's a few items. They come down the river and they switch tracks here with the pistons. When the items here are ready, a tone will chime and let you know the items are derezed. You can go pick up your other items. Now I wanted to make this a little bit more complex. That's just fairly simple. Anybody could make that, and I'm not even going to go over building this. This isn't really that worth it, although it is a little bit less annoying. But if I've got a mob grinder, I want to know when the items are gone, and I think I'm a little bit more pressured for time, so I set up another machine, which is about a little bit of an AND gate over here, so that when your items are dropping in here, and this is just just a mockery of a little bit of a mock-up of Etho's spillway on his ice base currently. But once you got these items here, once you get this is all going to come in from his mob processors, and when the items land in the spillway, they will all be distributed down to the pressure plates, and as the pressure plate switches tracks and sends the items down to the collection area, they will land on this pressure plate. Now, if we notice, no sound been made from this pressure plate, and no sound has been made from this pressure plate. But when the item does derez, and you get close enough, but there are items down here. This alarm is meant to be annoying and say, hey, you have items, but there's nothing on this other pressure plate. You might want to go check it out. And realistically, on a mob grinder where it's working continually, parts are going to keep going, so it'll tone and shut off by itself anyhow, and items will continue on their path down to the other part. But when a few items derez, this will be annoying up until it's saying, hey, go pick up your stuff, buddy. And then you pick up your stuff and the alarm resets. It's very simple, very compact. I like the way this is set up, where it's only about 3 wide here, and realistically in a practical use, this is going to fit all. This realistically should fit all in Etho's standard ice base at this point, and you're just going to have to send these signals underground. And I'm not going to go over burying the wires, but I will go over building this in a moment. Well, no, actually, I'll just continue. I'm used to Fraps, and it keeps lagging, but I just switched to a new software, and it's actually working very, very good. So I'm quite impressed so far. And over here, I just have a setup of a water spillway, 8 blocks long of water. This is how Etho, not even really partial to Etho, but just the fact that this is where your items are going to come out of your grinder. Any sort of distribution system that you're going to want a timer on or anything, or even a switch track to, You don't even need the pressure plate here. You could have it go and send it to one location and then have, not without moving your mob grinder, just flip a switch and have it go off to another room. But in this case, you're going to need, let's get these out of here because we're not going to need a lot of this yet. You're going to need some redstone, some soil. You're going to need 2 pistons, a redstone torch, and 2 pressure plates. So what you're going to want to do here is, we can even move it at this point. You're going to want to put a piston up here, and you're going to want to put 2 pistons right here. Or you're going to want to take out 2 holes there and make sure your piston gets placed like that. Now the water is of course going to spill, depending, I mean, if you moved it up even further, then this is going to spill out everywhere, so you want to put a pressure plate there anyway. It's always good practice there. Then you're going to want to put a pressure plate here, and that's pretty much that for that's your setup. Once you get there, you're going to want to put a block here, and a block here. I guess this part doesn't really have to go, but I like it anyway. Then you just run your redstone right up over your water spillway, put it up here, and you're going to want to drop in your torch. Now we've got our switch. Now it'll go in either direction. We could do whatever we want with this. Although I'm not experiencing as much lag, I am definitely getting some. I may have to take a break here, but I'll finish this up right here. Now this is part 1. Finishing up with part 1, I ran the wire over there. We're all done. Now this will be continuously powered by this inverted block, while this will never be powered until you step on the pressure plate, and when the inverted block will be inverted, closing that off. And it is important that this block be back here, because if you move it up here, this block will be powered, but constantly, because when this torch shuts off, the redstone would have to be here unless you put another block on top. And I just wanted this to be as cheap as possible and as compact as possible. So you can also put this down here and get to power that block, but if you put this up here, you know, this block won't get powered except by this to power this, and when this shuts off, it will close the piston. So you're pretty much set up there. I'm going to take a break now and get a nap in because the sun is going down. Although it's beautiful, it's going to get dark and we're going to miss out on some good videos, so I'll be right back. Okay, there's a wolf over there. I don't see many wolves. Now for this one, now we're going to add on the alarm. And the alarm is easy. We can do this with a few note blocks. We're going to need a couple repeaters. We're going to need a sticky piston for this one. I like to keep it cheap, but the sticky piston is required. I like to run the wire out here, go around the piston so that you don't accidentally power it. Invert this signal. Keep going. Carry this signal over. And put this block here. Now we're going to want to build a clock. Or this can be really hooked to any mechanism that you're going to want to chime when things are derezzing. But I'm going to do a quick clock here. Trying to think of how I want to power this. I think that's good. with a repeater. We're going to need a block right here. Oop, not right there. We'll do that in a second. I guess I'll do that in a second. I'm going to just build the clock first. And we have motion. I like to set these up a little bit just to make them move a little bit slower for the note blocks. And after that, I set up repeaters right here, and that'll be for the note blocks. Now you can use this opportunity while the clock is here to tune your note blocks. Letting you know that there's an item there. Now, we're going to want to deactivate this clock. Get rid of that. You're going to need a sticky piston in here. Get a piece of soil there. And connect it with redstone. And now you're complete. Every time the sticky piston pushes forward and puts the dirt block here, the soil will bridge this connection as I break it. The soil will bridge the connection to the clock to allow the signal to continue. And we'll test it with just running over this plate over here. There we go. We had sound. Now, this is pretty much as easy to do it. It's fairly simple. You can power this straight from, dig down a couple blocks, bury the whole thing. You would never even know it's there. And there you have it. You have an alarm. Let's test it out. Must have broke it. This is not working. Shit. What did I do wrong? Oh. I knew there was a reason. I was trying to make it smaller. There we go. You have to make sure that signal gets directed into that block. I don't think this has to be up there, but the signal has to be there. I'll keep this, I'll show my mistake. Maybe somebody can learn from it. But, as long as there's a block here and a block here, it will not play until one dereses. And when this one dereses, it resets. Simple as that. Just make sure it's definitely pointing in there. For anybody who doesn't realize that, I didn't even really think about it at first, but if the power is not going into the block, I guess it's not going to receive a signal. But as long as you get it pointed directly in there, you've got yourself a little AND gate. It's a little unconventional looking, but it's small, easy to hide, and it works. It works well. Looks good. I hope this works, and I don't know if this is really something Etho would want in his base, but I think it's definitely worth looking into. But thanks for watching. I think that's about it. And I'll say thanks to Etho for giving me the inspiration to doing this and providing me with endless entertainment when I'm not playing Minecraft. So, yeah, thanks for watching.